Welcome to the newest creation here at NotClub33.com. This is the IPocalypse Now show where Pat and I discuss the various intellectual properties that Disney has to offer, how they're going to affect the theme parks moving forward, and whether we like them or we hate them. I think that's a pretty simple and standard format, right, Pat?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I'm excited to dive into these. These are new films and shows on Disney Plus, right? That we're going to be talking about.
For the most part, yeah. Although if certain properties come up, like a Tiana's or something like that, where it's making a comeback in the park, yeah, we'll bring it up. But yeah, of course, we want to try to talk a little bit more about like the newer culture. That's
so we're going to talk about Moana later, right?
For fuck's sake, man! Like I tried not to cuss in the first minute, and I made it to just 5 seconds short. I'm just oh well. But yes, Moana 2 may get brought up at some point in our next episode. Hopefully, not this one. But yes, I suppose Moana can be thrown into that category.
Awesome.
Please don't bring it up. I swear. I can't. You know what? Why don't we start here? Let's talk about the various Disney studios and where they're at the box office now, kind of in the short term future. Whether if we've seen it, if we have interest, etc. Sound good?
Sure. Yeah. Let's go.
Sweet. You went to go see Inside Out 2 here recently.
I did.
I am mistaken. Oh, no, you did. Okay, excellent.
Yeah, I did see it, yeah.
Okay. Give us a quick review of it. Like, what'd you think?
So, have you seen the first movie, Inside Out?
No.
So
I have the gist of it, but
so you know what the movie's about. It's about basically, Riley's emotions. She has anger, she has joy, she has sadness, and she has disgust. Well, in this, she's older. She's a teenager, so she has these new emotions come in: anxiety. She has embarrassment, and a couple others. And this movie is awesome. Like I'm sitting there watching it, and it describes what is happening to my teenagers at the moment, like perfectly. Like their emotions. It's awesome. Like at one point, so she's a hockey player and she's going to this camp, and she has anxiety about the kids liking her. So she does different things. She gets embarrassed, whatever. But at one point, she's trying really hard and is very anxious, and she has a panic attack. Well, in the show, they depict a panic attack for a kid to understand, and it just like visually it was just like awesome. I mean, I was really impressed with the movie, and Pixar. It shows that Pixar can make great, Disney can make great content, and I think that it's already gone over $1 billion, and that hasn't happened for a long time. So,
yeah, I read that
it's funny. It's funny. It's emotional. It's just a great story. So.
Yeah. I'm glad to hear that they've done something right. I've not seen the most recent slate of films, but from what I understand, the last couple of releases by the animation side, anyway, have been kind of duds. I've seen some of the Marvel Studios stuff that's come out, obviously, and like, oh god, man, like Captain Marvel was terrible, and I don't even like Loki season 2 was okay. Ish, but I've
gotten burnt out on it, to be honest. It's overload.
I don't know that it's overload, because we were more overloaded, maybe 5-10 years ago, somewhere in that kind of time frame where we had Ant-Man, Avengers 2, Guardians of the Galaxy, Thor, what was that?
Sure.
That one, like they just kept coming back to back to back.
And it's these TV shows. They're not very high quality.
Well, that's the thing. Okay, so that's what we're burnt out on. It's not that
Mm-hmm.
we're burnt out on Marvel or Star Wars or even cartoons, right?
Mm-hmm.
It always boils down to we're burned out by shitty stuff. I don't even
Yeah.
want to call what Disney is supposed to be releasing content. Like I feel like that's like
Yeah.
a terrible word to call
Yeah.
it that. Like it should be art. It should be standing for something, and it should be, something that can communicate things to the audience that they maybe perhaps not considered before. Content is what you and I are doing.
Sure.
We're
Sure.
we're, we're bullshitting back
And
and forth. That's not what Inside Out 2 is supposed
yeah.
to be.
No, no. So I Inside Out 2, I asked, like, we had a situation with my son about his baseball game, and he didn't get to play this game, and it's a highly competitive team, and
Mhm.
he's really mainly been a pitcher, and he pitches a lot, but he didn't get to hit one game, and he was really upset about it. And this movie, like, almost depicted like what emotions that he was going through, and I kind of asked him about it, and he's like, oh yeah, I didn't know what those feelings were like. So now he can he gets, like, the anxiety thing is hard to understand as a kid, like having what that emotion is, and they like knocked it out of the park. Like, it was kind of amazing. So it kind of helped him get through that issue just by seeing that movie. So
So this begs the question because
mm-hmm,
we're always going to try to tie it back to the theme parks, right?
mm-hmm,
I hate that we go down this path, but they try to slap whatever intellectual property of the day is on
mm-hmm,
whatever future attraction is coming
mm-hmm.
out. Where would you think Inside the Parks would be best served
Oh,
for
this
Inside Out?
is a simple answer, and it's Epcot with Figment.
Oh,
Um,
I disagree.
where do you think?
They
I
have this whole
Figment.
fucking pavilion sitting between Mission Space and Guardians of the Galaxy. It used to be called the
Oh,
Wonders of Life.
yeah, yeah, you
And
could do
not for
that too.
nothing,
You
if
mean
you
have
were
its
to
own attraction over there? Yeah,
yes, you have a
yeah,
motion simulator sitting there, probably not well maintained,
yeah. But what the
obviously,
hell's
but
that
it
called over there?
used to be called Body Wars. That was
No.
awesome, by the
But
way.
no, the part of the park. No, they like nature. They have like,
Fuck if I know. Who cares about
you know what I
theming? They
mean?
don't.
I guess so. Yeah, man. I
Disney
guess,
doesn't
yeah.
give a
If you wanted
shit.
to, if I was thinking if, like, if you wanted to boost the Figment and, like, his profile, because people love Figment. I'm not a huge Figment fan, but I feel like those characters could go well with the Figment of the imagination, and you could do something
Yeah,
really cool with that.
I see where you're going with that. I don't
Mm-hmm.
disagree with you. I've also
But
heard the rumbling that Seth Rogen is trying to make a Figment movie, and I think that if they
uh,
have that planned,
yeah,
that means they're going to close Figment down for a refurb, but make it another new attraction and have it
yeah.
coincide with the movie. That's
Oh
my
yeah. As long as he doesn't,
theory
he did
anyway.
that Ninja Turtles movie, and that was god awful. God, I grew up with the Ninja Turtles, and his version of the Ninja Turtles were, uh,
I mean, look, I grew up with all his stoner shit, but I guess ever since
mm-hmm,
like his boy James Franco got caught up or in the Me Too shit, like he's
mm-hmm,
just not been the same guy, and he's not been willing to like do any sort of the raunchy stuff that he was known for. Like, think
mm-hmm.
about it this way: he's doing Ninja Turtles and possibly Figment now. He was doing
Yeah.
Sausage Party and fucking 40-Year-Old Virgin,
Oh
and you know
yeah,
God, like all these raunchy comedies that were the last
yeah,
bastion of R-rated comedies.
right,
And I think we need more of that in this day and age because I think
sure.
it's really tilted difficult with
It may end
comedy
up
for
on
a few
Disney
years. It's
Plus.
gotten better. It's gotten better, but
Mm-hmm.
well, yeah, exactly. We'll talk about that here in a couple minutes. But speaking of some R-rated comedy that is coming out, and speaking of Marvel, by the way, I guess here in the next couple weeks we have Deadpool and Wolverine to
Yeah.
look forward to, the only Marvel release of 2024, and I am super excited for it
Yeah.
because I love Deadpool. I loved the first two. I was in a kind of a weird, dark place. Actually, when I saw the first one, I had just met Amanda, but like
Uh,
we were like I was broke, and
oh.
actually like during that time, like the company that I was working for was like cutting back hours a little bit because we were just so slow.
Mm-hmm.
And so I got released early from work one day as part of the fewer hours part. And I didn't have anything else to do. But I saw like there was a $5 ticket or some shit at this movie
Oh.
theater that I went to. So I was like, all right,
Solo.
fine. Yeah, exactly. This is the last time I saw a
Okay.
movie by myself, actually. And yeah, it was Deadpool, and that movie made me laugh so fucking hard. It took me into a better place as a
Okay.
result of
Yeah.
it. So
Yeah.
huge fan of Deadpool, and I'm a huge. The second one is really underrated. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, as a comedy,
It's
it's
good.
really fucking funny.
Mm-hmm.
You don't catch a lot of the jokes the first time because they kept trying to go for the what the fuck moment in
Mm-hmm.
that movie instead of like letting the jokes simmer a little bit more. But man,
Sure.
it's a great one. The Red Band trailers that have been coming out, the popcorn bucket that's going to come out with this,
Oh yeah.
there's nothing about this says to me that it's going to be anything short of the last $2 billion superhero movie.
Yeah. I mean, and plus it has Wolverine in it. Wolverine has it's the first Disney show with Wolverine, right? So I
Yeah,
mean, that's a
and
pretty big character, that we haven't got to experience.
and I think what's cool about the plot of this because they're bringing in the TVA from the Loki series and everything. They really can do um, kind of a reset, a hard reset on all the movies, all the franchises, and all that kind of stuff. So if they wanted to, they could literally just start from scratch, like just
Yeah,
cut the universe off if they wanted to, and
sure.
say we're just going to start from here. Let's all watch
Why
together.
not?
You know that.
Yeah.
Let's start with Captain America again, but can we get John
Mm.
Cena, like some shit like that, and then all of a sudden,
Let's hope John
John
Cena's
Cena,
not in it.
yeah,
He's a
I'm just
terrible
saying.
actor. I mean,
I
his
mean,
WWE skills are good, but
he's got his moments in
he can be
comedies,
funny. He can be
man.
funny. Yeah,
He's got some.
he can be
He was the
funny.
only good part of that Amy Schumer movie. Uh, the,
Oh, I
he
know what
was
you're talking
funny.
about. Yeah,
He was
yeah,
funny as shit in that.
yeah. He could be.
Uh,
He could be funny,
but
but
like,
not Captain America.
I, there's a part of me that kind of wants it, especially because just because of how he did
Well, he plays that
Peacemaker and
show
how
on
he was.
HBO.
Yeah, that
That
Peacemaker.
yeah.
That's what it's called. Yeah, like that would make me laugh so hard. It really would. If they stole John Cena from the asshole Captain America and made him the real one. That's fantastic.
Yeah,
Having Hugh Jackman kind of unleashed, for lack of a better word,
yeah.
since
He's a good actor.
and also having that character uh, be unleashed to say
Yeah,
fuck shit ass, everything. I think it's
yeah,
great,
yeah.
and that's something that Wolverine was definitely known for in the comics. Not as much in the animated children's series X Men, '97 or whatever. But
97. Yeah,
yeah, I mean, by the way, what a letdown that was.
I didn't.
I
I didn't
couldn't.
haven't watched it.
I tried. I
I
couldn't.
got overloaded. She-Hulk threw me down, beat me up.
She Hulk.
Couldn't. I couldn't. I was done. Like,
I
okay,
got. I I knew what they were trying to do with that show,
with
but
She-Hulk.
they just yeah. And
Oh,
there were moments that they pulled it off. Let me put it that way, because like the fact that they called out like snarky asshole guys for making comments on YouTube or whatever, and then like that's all that happened was snarky asshole guys were making comments on YouTube. Like,
well, sure.
yeah, it's art imitating life. So as far as I'm concerned, it's a success in that respect.
Okay.
It didn't always hit the nail on the head, though. Let's just leave it at that. It was kind of like
Mm-mm.
a well. If you never mind, I won't make that joke.
Yeah.
Okay, so I guess, like I said, it comes out here in the next week or so. I'm excited for it. I take it you are as well.
Yeah, yeah. I think I'm gonna go. We'll go see it. I mean, my kids are pretty much they're old enough to watch it. They've heard these words.
They
So
heard him from me. So,
I mean, they're 13 and 15. Lincoln's got his permit. He's driving, so
oh God, that's
he's heard it. He's in
terrifying.
high school. Yeah, drove to his baseball game the other day. Almost
Oh,
got in
that's
two
terrifying.
wrecks.
Poor Lincoln
So yeah,
getting called out by dad on his own podcast. Wow.
yeah, he won't
Um,
watch.
so another franchise that's R rated and
Mm.
is very much so near and dear to my heart is the Alien
Old
franchise.
school, old school.
Yes. And they are releasing a Ridley Scott endorsed and executive produced sequel called Alien Romulus. That's going to come out in August. And I'm not going to lie, I'm kind of excited for it.
There
From
you
what I
go.
understand, they're kind of dropping the whole Michael Fassbender part of that. And they're going to go
Okay,
back to the actual alien part. Ridley Scott
awesome.
had this weird thing where, like, the Alien movie, like, of course, everybody was concentrated on the thing that was running around like this, and that's what people
Yeah,
wanted to see.
oh
All he
sure,
cared about was the engineer, the guy that had the initial chest
right.
burst and everything. He wanted to focus on that guy's story. I couldn't give less of a fuck about that guy's story.
Well, who
That's
would?
just me.
Yeah,
Ridley Scott. That's the problem. So
yeah.
he tried to
Well,
fix
yeah.
that with the Prometheus and the other one, Alien
Uh huh.
Covenant, and that one was so disappointing. I was so hoping for Danny McBride to have a Bill Paxton moment in that movie, and it never happened. But
Yeah. Not too many
no,
people have that moment.
I've heard some good things about it, and I've seen like a couple of screenshots from the
Hmm.
trailer that indicate perhaps this takes place kind of in between Alien and Aliens, which
Oh,
okay, cool.
that's interesting. Yeah.
I like going back to that era, certainly.
So
No,
when does
go ahead.
this when does this movie come out?
August, I believe it's
It's August.
second week of August.
I'm assuming they have a trailer. I haven't seen the trailer
Oh
for it.
yeah, they have a trailer
Okay.
for it, and that's how I had heard that it's possibly set
Mm-hmm.
because there's a screenshot of it where the shuttle that Ripley is on at the end of Alien
Uh
is
huh.
flying by, and it's like the exact same look, and I think
Okay.
that it even had the same name on it.
Oh,
So I hope that's not a we're gonna get the digitally
yeah.
de-aged Sigourney Weaver
Sure.
or whatever. It would make no goddamn sense if they did that shit. But I'm here for that era anyway because I love that
Sure.
that kind of 70s. Star Wars had this too. Like
Yeah.
it was kind of like a gritty sci-fi vibe to it. It's like
Yeah.
I love Star Trek, right? But the Next Generation, the most popular of that series of that franchise, looks like you're walking around like a Holiday Inn.
Ah.
It's nice and
Yeah.
clean. It has carpet,
Yeah.
but Star Wars and Alien, they have that kind of gritty
Yeah.
industrial type
I know what
feel
you're talking about.
to
Yeah.
it. So
Yeah.
I kind of like that aesthetic for sci-fi.
Okay.
Sometimes it's not well done. I don't like Blade Runner is a good movie, but I don't think it's well done in that. So
So
I'm a
here's a
weirdo.
question for you:
Mhm.
Alien. Could you find Alien in a Disney park? And
We
if
already
you had to
had
put it in
Alien.
the movie,
We had Alien for the real
yeah, no,
one
I
in
know.
Great Movie Ride, and we had
Oh,
Alien Encounter, which was supposed
oh,
to be the xenomorph, but they
oh.
couldn't get the
Okay.
rights to it, and
Ah.
that's the reason why it ended
So
up
would you put
looking
it
like
back
that.
into Magic Kingdom, or would you want to
Yes,
do a new attraction in Hollywood Studios,
no, I'd absolutely want
or
to
put it
do
in
it over
Epcot?
in Tomorrowland. Um, yeah, no, I got other plans for Epcot. No,
You put it
I
in
would,
Spaceship Earth.
yeah, that would go over so well. Uh, I would put it back where it used to be, where Stitch's Great
Mm-hmm.
Escape was, and the extraterrestrial alien encounter was.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I
Just
think that
revamp it.
having that IP attached to it might actually serve an attraction like that well, because
Yeah.
parents are going to instantly recognize, oh, I know that alien. Nope, I'm not
Yeah.
bringing my kid on that. Any other alien, it's Disney. What? We're not
Yeah.
gonna.
Yeah.
They're not gonna really scare us.
Yeah.
But that one they get. So I think that would serve that attraction well if they did it. And I would love
Sure.
to see them kind of. So they've always focused on there's the company in that franchise, Wayland Utani. They've always focused on the Wayland guy,
Uh-huh.
the first guy. They never focused on the Utani guy. So I'd kind of
Ah,
want to see him like be like some sort of charismatic CEO type thing where like he's welcomed you to his expo. They finally did it. They finally captured one of these things, and shit goes awry. That would
yeah.
be me. I would love to see that return. Could you do it? Could you fit it back in Magic Kingdom, or would you put it elsewhere?
I think that because there's space for it there, and
Yeah,
this is an empty attraction, and Magic Kingdom of all the parks needs more attractions.
absolutely,
So
it does.
I think that is a good spot for it. And then the other spot for it is if you're gonna expand Hollywood Studios, maybe into that courtyard where they have like the Disney Junior and the Launch Bay, and do something over there with it, like a brand new attraction.
I like that idea actually, or at least that spot anyway. That you're right that
Mm-hmm.
that section of the park does need a hard
Like where the Little
restart.
Mermaid stuff is, and
Yeah,
I know they're bringing that
and
show back, but maybe they don't need to bring that show back.
yeah, maybe
You
they
know?
can move it elsewhere to
Yeah.
a different show space. Like
But
this
like,
is something that kind of occurred to me. Like, why wouldn't you? Th- I kind of wish that what they would have done is I can't believe I'm saying this. Built Galaxy's Edge over the Muppets and gotten rid of Muppet Vision, or at least that space of Muppet Vision,
how
and
dare
then
you?
open. Hold up. Then redo it, recreate the theater,
Oh,
move the space over to in
I see.
between Galaxy's Edge and Toy Story Land, and then
Yeah.
allow them to recreate the great movie ride with the Muppets. That would have been so fucking badass
Yeah. That would have been
for them
cool.
to do. Because I
That would
miss
have
the
been
great
cool.
movie ride, and who better
Yeah.
to walk you through the
And
classics like
Muppets.
that than the Muppets?
Yeah, and that's an old school idea. So, that's an Eisner idea,
Exactly.
right?
Exactly.
Um,
And I think it would be a huge hit,
but
especially now that Disney owns the rights to the Muppets.
yeah, I
So
think I think you make a good point because Galaxy's Edge is right there, and then you get that Muppets courtyard that's kind of just weird. Like it's just a
and,
weird space. It's almost
oh, and
like
then you get the at from Star Tours.
just yeah, just weird.
It
You
is
know,
it's that's what I don't like about the current state of things. They don't think things through. They thought
unless there's a
Galaxy's Edge through, but they didn't think about, well, if we had just figured out a way to make it so that it was back behind Muppets or something like
yeah,
that, so it was all connected that way.
unless
Like
there's a future plan to somehow build that into Galaxy's Edge, like as an expansion.
I'm certain that
That
there
even,
is. I'm certain that they're counting the days before they do that,
but
and we'll get to
I
what they
just
could
don't
replace it with.
as much as the Muppets is loved. I think that is a there's no sacred cows, as you heard. Who's the parks chairman? Tomorrow.
Tomorrow,
He said in an interview, "There's no sacred cows." So
that's
I could see
bullshit.
them. I could see them
Take
ditching the Muppets for sure.
take the people mover, take the carousel of progress,
No,
take
don't do
haunted
that.
mansion, take any one of those attractions, and I can assure you there will be armed riots if they do
Yeah.
that.
Oh, for sure.
Like Florida's an open carry state, man. They're coming. They're coming.
But
Um,
speaking of Alien and Alien Encounter, there was a Alien Encounter with Stitch, and there's a new movie, Lilo and Stitch, live action, which
yeah. So I never really saw the original. It's my wife's favorite character, and it pains me to admit
what?
this. All right, that movie
Seriously?
came out when I was like 14 or 15 or something like that, and I was just out of that phase. This happened to me with Harry Potter
Yeah.
too, by the way, where I
Okay.
was
Yeah.
just like too old for that shit, but not older to that I could go back and be like, this would be funny to go see like something
Hmm.
childish or something like that. Like I was hard into football and
Sure.
ESPN and all that kind of shit. I didn't have time for any of that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Action movies, lots of testosterone type shit. So it just
Sure.
never was on my radar. And then it fucking stole Alien Encounter from me. And I could never forgive it for that. Um,
I have no
you know,
interest in this movie, by the way. I didn't like the movie Lilo and Stitch. I don't like the character Stitch. It's just kind of weird, and I have no interest in this live action movie. And plus, they haven't done a good live action movie of their animated films in a long time.
what are you
So
talking about? I can't wait for Snow White. Um,
they've ruined Pinocchio. They
yeah,
took
that
out the
had
best
Tom
parts of
Hanks and Bobby
Pinocchio.
Zemeckis.
Yeah, it had great
That's
potential. Honest
tough,
John pretty
man.
much ripped him out of the end completely. Pleasure Island out. I mean, all the great things about Pleasure Island out. But
Well, anyway, that's just how that by the way is exactly how I feel about Alien Encounter and why it bothers me so much. All the stuff that I found to be interesting, they took it away and shoved in this stupid ass cartoon who was
mhm.
mischievous. I will say I did look this up, and it does star a couple of names that we are familiar with that might be a little bit of a draw.
Mhm.
Um, Zach Galifianakis of
Mhm.
stand up between two ferns and Hangover
Yeah.
fame. He is not voicing Stitch, although he probably could have. He's that kind of a weirdo. And the one that caught my eye was Abraham Lincoln herself, Tia Carrera, uh, from Wayne's World, and like one of my underrated action movies of all time, True Lies. I don't know if you
True
remember
Lies.
that one or
Great
not.
movie. Hell yeah.
Great movie, man. Great movie.
Yeah.
I love True Lies.
Schwarzenegger.
As
Oh
a
yeah.
computer salesman, oh, that was so great. But
Yeah, that one's
actually,
awesome.
who got that me in that movie was Tom Arnold. He was so fucking good in that movie. He really was. Like the one part where he just calls a guy a fucker
Yeah.
because he almost hit Arnold Schwarzenegger while he was depressed walking
Yeah.
across. It just made me laugh so hard. He told some story in that moment though where uh, he said he came home and his character had ex-wife had cleared out the place. She even stole the ice cube trays out of the freezer, and I quote, "What kind of a psycho bitch steals the ice cube trays out of the freezer?" Apparently, that's a real story that happened to him with Roseanne,
Oh really?
which makes it
Ah.
even greater. Anyway, I fucking
Yeah.
love True Lies. So I would love to see where Abraham Lincoln is at, Tia Carrera. I
Yeah.
haven't seen
Yeah.
her in anything since that movie. I don't think so.
Right. Yeah.
Um, good for her for making a comeback
For
like this,
sure.
and with a notable role. I believe she is Hawaiian, or at least
Oh,
part
okay.
Hawaiian. So I
So
think
she's
that
the
this is
mom.
yeah, I think this is the right call for her
Yeah.
to kind of make a
Yeah.
Disney comeback. So
Sure.
I am certain that I'm going to get dragged to this. So I'll perhaps on a future episode I will have a review of it because this is my wife's favorite character
Good luck.
of all time. Yeah,
Yeah.
she's gonna either love
Yeah.
it or
Mhm.
fucking hate it, and
Yeah.
there's gonna be no in between.
I have no interest. So, you know, and
I don't
we have
blame you.
no
I
need to
don't.
discuss. We have no need to discuss where this goes in the parks because it's
It's already tried and
at the
failed.
Polynesian.
Yeah, they're already there. So, um,
Yeah.
all right, we should address the acolyte in the room. God damn, man, this is what spawned this show.
Yeah.
This series is what spawned this show. And we are not going to do the politics thing with it. I'm going to focus on just the quality and the story and the things that should matter about all of this.
Mm.
Mother of God, man, they fucked over Anakin Skywalker so hard
Yeah.
with it. It's the most poorly written series I've ever seen.
Well,
I
yeah,
I can't
they've
with it.
disregard canon. So they're supposed to be free from Sith for 1,000 years, and all of a sudden this guy's going around killing Jedi, and nobody tells Yoda.
Yeah, where the fuck is Yoda?
Hell? Yeah, he's the most
Trained
prominent
Jedi for 900 years, have I? I mean, that's like a line from Empire.
Yeah.
I don't get it. I don't get it. Also, the casting on this is wild. Like, Carrie-Anne Moss, you're going to take Trinity from The Matrix and kill her off in the first 10 minutes? Fuck you.
Yeah, she was.
First of
all, I was somewhat interested in her character, and then she's dead.
Because it's her.
And she got killed by a knife.
Yeah.
She got killed by a knife. The girl in Kenobi, they got stabbed by the lightsaber by Darth Vader twice. Yeah. She survived. But this one gets stabbed by a knife and dies.
Dead. It's fucking stupid. It's really fucking stupid.
Oh, stupid.
That's like the logic of the show is just so poorly constructed. It's not the actor's fault. I'm not putting this on them. They're trying, but they're being given like the biggest bunch of bullshit to work with on that show. Episode 3 is the worst thing I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah.
I watched that on a very special melatonin gummy, and I couldn't with it. I was like, this is so bad.
It's hard almost to talk about it, because if you talk about it, again, we don't want to get into politics. You can't hardly say anything bad about the show. Otherwise, you get attacked for it.
That's why I said we're not going to talk about very specific aspects that I know that they're baiting us with too, by the way. Because look, it's well covered. Like the critical drinkers, that Scottish guy. Sometimes his stuff
Star
pops
Wars
up
theory.
Yeah. I mean, there's plenty of people who have covered it well into the ground. I will say I pushed past it. Episode 4, the following episode. God damn, it was just the most boring episode I'd ever seen. It wasn't that it was.
I can't.
Like there was nothing engaging about it. It was the worst parts of the Phantom Menace, like as a supercut, if you will. Like that's what that episode was. And then the 5th episode, it doesn't redeem the series, but it does at least, it does at least give us like a cool lightsaber moment or two.
Okay.
In there. So like it's not the best lightsaber battle. That is still Obi-Wan and Qui-Gon versus
all those prequel battles are awesome, and they're done by one guy. One guy choreographed them. Yeah, and that's why they're so So that's why they're so awesome. And I don't know, like, I'm a huge Star Wars fan. I watch everything, and I like most of it. But lately, with Kenobi and Book of Boba Fett, and really the 3rd season of Mandalorian, but this puts those to shame. And the Acolyte, I can't watch it. I just can't watch Star Wars. I can't watch the Acolyte anymore. I am done.
I don't blame you. I only watched it for this moment. Like I wanted to be able to say something, beyond the episode 3 stuff. And I'm able to at least give it that one shred of it had a cool moment. But they also fucked it up with the casting to a degree. This has nothing to do with the actor, I should say, it has everything to do with his previous role. I know him as Jason Mendoza from The Good Place, who was like a stoner Filipino guy from Jacksonville. Okay. Like, that's how I know him. So I see that guy now as the Dark Lord of the Sith. I'm like, dude, come on. Like, I can't.
Sith that haven't been around for 1,000 years.
Yeah, exactly. Well,
And he looks like Kylo Ren with a smile.
Yeah, Smilo Ren is what he's been dubbed by the internet, which I think is very appropriate. So, look, if you've had any sort of thoughts about whether or not to watch it, just don't save yourself.
Yeah, don't watch it. I mean, the audience score on Rotten Tomatoes last I checked was 12%.
Yeah, that's not review bombing, by the way. Like, it's legitimate criticisms that are being thrown out there.
It's poorly written.
You know,
There's no regard for the canon. Even the showrunner talked about how it was great that they had people that did some writing that had never seen Star Wars. So
who the fuck hasn't seen Star Wars when you were supposed to be wanting to be in cinema? It's like a quintessential like movie that you should know. Like, there's not many of them that I demand that people have seen, but like The
no,
Godfather.
I blame Kathleen Kennedy.
Well, look, Kathleen, I blame her as well, but only. But here's my problem. Okay, so again, leading up to this, I guess because you and I were talking back before we even decided to do this about the Acolyte, and like it made me want to watch good Star Wars again.
Yeah.
So I actually went back and started like the from the prequel trilogy, and it got off to a rough start. I forgot just how bad
episode
Phantom
1
Menace
is
really
rough.
was.
Yeah, but there's some good parts to it.
No, I'm talking episode 1. Like, oh god, it was.
Yeah, there's some good parts to episode 1.
No, they're the best lightsaber duel by far, the best musical score of it. Just so good. Yeah, Attack of the Clones was so poorly acted by Hayden Christensen, or at least it was so poorly written by George Lucas. Like, I can't with it. Episode 3, it got better.
I think episode 3 is good. I like it.
I like it fine. I guess my big problem with it is because I was a huge Star Wars fan before really Disney fucked it all up. And there was a lot of stuff from the original trilogy that like they said about Anakin, like, oh, he's the best fighter pilot in the galaxy. We saw him fly a fighter pilot twice.
Yeah.
In those 3 movies. I know that there's the Clone Wars and all that shit. But
yeah, the Clone Wars is awesome.
Don't care. Come to me when it's so live action. Please.
If they made that live action, I would freak out. I would freak out if they made that live action and just copied it, picture, scene for scene. I would freak out.
Cool. And call me when they do, so that I can show up for something that's halfway decent, and not made for kids.
Because those scenes in Ahsoka where they flashback the Clone Wars, those were awesome. Those were really
I was
awesome.
so fucking lost that episode. She got eaten by a space whale or some shit. Never mind. Anyway, look, the Acolyte. Well, let's put a nail in its coffin, and go ahead and say this: could you possibly see the Acolyte coming to Galaxy's Edge?
Yes.
I don't think they got the balls to do it.
You don't think so?
I don't think they have the balls.
I don't know.
I
don't know.
I mean, they've been pretty ballsy with some stuff. Don't get me wrong.
That'll be it for me. I won't go.
It's not that how do I put this? They can't do a character meet and greet, right? Because for one thing, everybody's pretty much dead, so there's no point to doing any of that.
Yeah, you're right. So it doesn't fit the timeline, so it shouldn't be there.
Yeah, but when is Disney giving a shit about timelines? And last time they cared about this stuff that we care about was
I don't think there's a very popular character, so you're probably right. It's not. I mean, the Mandalorian and Grogu's immensely popular, and it took him a while to get him there.
Yeah, I can't see I can't see her.
They better
May and Osha or whatever her name is. I think it's Osha.
May and Osha, yeah.
I don't see them showing up in the parks. I don't see.
Yeah, they were born from the Force.
Yeah, that's what it was. Something was forced. Metaphor, perhaps, with it. I'm glad that it won't.
I carried him. I created him.
Hey, one of them was just horny. Okay, just never mind. I'm glad. I hope that it doesn't happen, but I don't
Yeah,
like I said.
I don't think it will happen. You're probably
I
right.
don't. I just don't think they have the balls to do it because it
Let's
would be
hope
a
not.
hugely risky move. I think it
uh,
would be a hugely risky move
that would be
in this age.
terrible. That'd be
Yeah,
terrible.
and they would be doing it at that point to prove a point,
Yeah.
but what they'd end up doing is proving the other side's point.
Yep.
So
Uh-huh.
I kind of I don't see it happening, but
Mm-hmm.
you know, I've been wrong before, plenty. So
Sure.
here's to seeing May and Osha sometime in September at Hollywood Studios, probably.
In December.
Uh,
December.
yeah, well, yeah, make it for the holiday season, Life
Yeah.
Day, if you will.
Christmas present for me. Merry
Life Day
Christmas to
present.
me. Yeah.
It's Life Day. Come on, man. Did you not watch the Christmas special? Dude, you've got to watch the Christmas special. It's
You're
on
talking about
YouTube.
Star Wars Christmas special. I've
Yes.
seen it. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it's the most batshit crazy thing I've ever seen in my life. Like, I don't do drugs,
Mhm.
but like
Mhm.
I felt like I was doing acid or on mushrooms or something while watching that shit. Where there was a musical number in the middle of it. What the fuck was that? The thing is so crazy. Like and then like what the guy that was in Blazing Saddles and in History of the World Part 1, fuck, what's the guy? Harvey Korman. He's fucking in it randomly out of nowhere, and you're like, what is happening right now? Like, I viewers, if you haven't seen it, like press pause on this one, open up a new tab and search for it. It's fantastic. You have to watch it.
Yeah.
Look, I think there's some good stuff in the works potentially. I hope that the intellectual property does get better. I have said on other shows here, I hate intellectual property being integrated into the parks. And for the most part, the reason why is because they take things away that I loved dearly and then fuck them up with that IP. But if you do an intellectual property well, and there
Yeah,
are plenty of examples where Disney has done it absolutely
for sure.
perfect,
Yeah.
then I welcome it. I don't have a problem with it because I do love the movies, and that's what we want to prove with this here podcast.
Sure.
Both Pat and I are huge pop culture fans like this.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Yeah. Got a question for you. What's a
okay,
show on Disney Plus that that you've watched that you've enjoyed in the last, I don't know, month? Could be a
it's been a lot
movie,
of Hulu
documentary. Could be.
stuff.
Oh,
I've found like a lot of random ass movies, like the Saw franchise is
Freddy got
on.
fingered.
Yes, Freddy Got Fingered is also on Disney Plus. The Tom Green vehicle from 1997 or some shit. I mean, fuck.
Isn't Road Trip on there too?
Yeah, Road Trip's on there. Independence Day. All of the Alien movies are on there now. That's wild to me that fucking Aliens is on. Like, dude, I'm telling you, Aliens, the James Cameron one, that is like my childhood right there. I was watching that shit at like 7 or 8 years old because my grandfather recorded a copy of it, and my grandmother didn't care, and we'd watch that movie every time. Yeah, she didn't give a shit.
My grandparents would have never let me watch that.
She wasn't paying attention. That's the thing. Like, and then once she figured out, oh, he's watched it 1,000 times and he's not dropping the F-bomb, who cares? So, but yeah, that's one of my childhood classics, and so I would love to see something like that integrated into the parks because again, that is childhood for me. And Disney is supposed to be about exploring childhood. Is not everybody's is a cartoon, I guess, is what I'm saying with that too. So,
yeah, for sure.
Hopefully this is not the last episode. I think that we should probably do these sporadically, once or so a month, and we'll figure out how the newest releases are gonna eventually find their way into the theme parks. And don't worry, yes, listeners and viewers, Moana 2 will be on an upcoming episode. Thank you so much for joining us here on the Disney's IPocalypse now. And make sure that you're checking out all of our other content here at NotClub33.com. That would include the Notcast, released most every Friday at 4 p.m. Magic Kingdom time for all of you California folk. That is East Coast time, just to give you that heads up. And of course, check out my podcast with my wife. That'd be the Cynics on Disney podcast right here on YouTube. And on all of your other standard podcast platforms, Apple, Spotify, wherever you can listen to podcasts, you can find the Cynics on Disney. While you're at it, guys, make sure that you subscribe to this here YouTube channel and that you are giving us commentary down below. I swear to God, I love the comments section. I absolutely do.
I try to respond to everything. So
Buster Byron Bluth, you keep commenting, bro. You
guy loves your show. You see the new one that the cruise lady? She comments on a lot of our stuff too.
Yes, seriously, when we say that we love the comments, make sure that you're commenting, guys. We read every single one of them. We love every one of them. So
no, and the last maybe 2 months, we've really gotten a lot of comments. So
and
we're happy about it.
And they're great comments too. Yeah. It's not like some
not calling us a bunch of idiots or anything.
And they're not like Russia bot things or something. Yeah. And that's okay. Yeah. We want disagreement to a degree. At least look, if you agree with me on everything, check yourself into a mental institution.
Or if you got a point that you got a point that we've missed, like I think she mentioned this cruise lady where the fireworks that came out of the 4th episode. That she saw fireworks from Caribbean Beach, and I never really thought about that.
Yeah, you can. Yeah, you can catch the backside of Epcot. She's absolutely right.
Yeah. So
there you go, guys. Have your voices heard here on our channel. Comment down below. Until next time, have yourself a magical fucking day, you guys.
Later.